Pike's pushed more and forward up ahead. He's got out of line. Is now Pike going to have a go at Werrell? Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such up. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Moving on to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's allowed to have fun. Yeah, and it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is been enjoying himself watching the Burger King machines off into the grass a little bit there as they're really bunching up now.
Does he have it? Medeiros is going to get it. They're going to toss it. They haven't got it.
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such up. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry! Good evening and welcome along to the IGP F3 Round 12 live from the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit. I am James Parfitt. I'm going to be joined in the booth by Mr. Ewan O'Leary here this evening, once more again to round out what has been an absolute epic 12 rounds of action. We're going to bring you up the championship standings as they are currently at the moment. Kenzie Newhoff, 363 points from the NetLife Racing Forces team. Lee Aberdeen in second on 362. Luca Varani in third on 357. Those are the 3 that can mathematically win this. We will have a chat about that very, very shortly. Will McIntyre in 4th, Victor Barras 5th, Antonio Jimenez is in 6th, Alex Leledo in 7th, Kevin Zwemstra 8th, Andy Flint 9th, Evan Wade 10th, Christian Glamseater 11th, Pedro Suarez 12th, Adam Townsma 13th, Chuck Morrow 14th, Vyacheslav Potapenko is down in 15th place. Then beyond that, we've got Edward Amos, Marcius Putnieks, Shaq Willems, Zoltan Zamota, Koji Ito, Marek Otlovs, Reno Scatini, Jakub Oleswinski, Irvin Sturmakens, and Lucas Marek rounds out our top 25. 26 is Zach Weir. Then we go into 27, Clark Williams. 28, Sergio Cacafero. 29, Paolo Brem. And sneaking into the top 30 was Max Bartolotta this time around as well. I think it's time to bring Mr. O'Leary into the booth to have a quick chat about this championship. Mr. O'Leary, how are you, sir?
Doing very well and looking forward a lot to this championship finale. We've seen a fantastic season, I've got to say, and the situation is fantastic and it's very simple as well, which we're very glad about because we don't deal well with lots of permutations, to be quite honest with you. Aberdeen and Newhoff are basically in a fight to see who finishes ahead of the other, and that is pretty much all there is to the championship battle. We saw them finish 1 and 2 in the previous race. They're probably going to finish, I would imagine, both on the podium in this race as well, and it's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, it definitely is. Now, there is a lot more to this championship that we've been sent, haven't we? You know, we have been sent from Luca, has sent us a load of stuff regarding who finishes where and if this happens and that happens and this has got to happen and that's got to happen. But as far as we're concerned, whoever finishes in front of the other one wins, right? That's what we're going by.
I think so. I mean, there's 1 point gap between them. If Aberdeen finishes in front of Nieuwhof, then they'll be tied on points. But with Aberdeen's 4 wins, 4 of which came in the first half of the season and none since, Nieuwhof is going to be overtaken on countback fairly comfortably. So it's effectively whoever finishes ahead of the other. When it gets complicated is if they both do badly and Luca Verani does well, which could well happen in the race, I suppose. Verani comes into the day 6 points off the title, or the championship lead, I should say, of Nieuwhof, and then things do get a bit more complicated. But the point system is very simple to follow on at home. It's 1 point a position, 43 for a win, 1 for 43rd, and so it makes it very easy to work out when you're seeing overtakes. It's basically gaining a point and losing a point.
Well, hopefully that's how easy it will be. So there we go. Random corn sign. Ewan the goat. Bones Felix. Boo Biggie. Nice. And Ash Vanderlei. Ewan the Pog champ, apparently. So there we go. Wow.
Well,
a lot of love.
That's Ash, who I've worked with all weekend, so I don't know how she's found this broadcast, but there we are.
Well, who knows? But at the end of the day, it's good to welcome you all in, guys, as well. We have just come to the end of qualifying here with Lee Aberdeen currently sitting on pole position. Yes, with Sandstrom in second, Glamseat a third, Verani fourth, Nieuwhof fifth, and Tellers is sixth with Wempstra behind him as well. Sandstrom's returned again. He did one race at Imola. He's returned back into the championship this time around. Get himself involved in the championship fight.
He very much could, actually. We saw how strong he was actually in the last season, reigning champion, of course, but only doing 2 rounds. He's never going to get anywhere near defending that title. But as you say, he could very much get involved. And as we were speaking about just before we came on broadcast, it kind of depends on your viewpoint as to how you look at championship finales. Some people will say, I do not want to get involved at all. I won't fight the championship contenders one bit. I'll let them through. I'll do whatever they want me to. Others will think, I deserve to be here just as much as anyone else, and fair enough. So I'll get involved. And Sandstrom very much seems in qualifying to be of that opinion, because as you were saying just to me beforehand, he could have, given himself a last to first challenge or whatever, just had a bit of fun with it. He's not in a championship fight, but clearly he wants to do well today.
Yeah, I think that's going to bring mixed opinions, I think, as well. I've seen others in other series where people have come in for the final round and they've gone and started at the back. They're like, we don't want to get involved in the championship, which is fair enough, I think, to be honest. I'm not sure how this is going to go down well with these group of drivers with Sandstrom coming into the final race. They may not worry about it. They may turn around and go, you know what, it's fine, he's here to race, let's see how he gets on. Or they may turn around and be like, well, should you have really been there, da-da-da-da-da. I think it really depends on how the race goes. The worst thing that could happen for Sandstrom, if he gets mixed up with Aberdeen, Verani, or Nieuwhof, and they all at some point they have a coming together, then I can guarantee it's probably not going to go down so well. I think that's going to be the thing here. We've got 40 drivers on track though, Ewan, ready for another epic IGP evening of racing.
Absolutely. We see so many great grids so far this season. We started off right up towards the 60 mark, which is, unbelievable amounts. This time around, we're around 40. That's still way more than what you'd see in real life, what you'd see in a lot of leagues as well. So we're very, very fortunate to have the grids that we do and the action that we do as well. Unfortunately, this man on the screen right now, Will McIntyre, has been involved in the championship all season long. However, in these last few weeks, he's just begun to tail off. The first 7 races, in fact, he didn't finish outside of the top 7 or so, 7 or 8. But after that, 2 0-point scores. I think both DNSs, but even so, it's not great news. And last round's spin, if you remember, down towards the end of the race, has really put paid to his championship chances.
Yeah, definitely has here as well, where we can bring you up the grid here this evening. Lee Aberdeen from the Alcantech NHR by Nyman Racing is on first, with Jasper Sandstrom on second. Christian Glamsita in third, Luca Verani fourth. Kenzie Nieuwhof is in fifth, with Antonio Tellers in sixth. On the fourth row, got Kevin Zwemstra and Andy Flint. On the fifth row is Victor Barris and Alex Leledo. And then in 11th place, Jakub Oleswinski and Will McIntyre. Then on from that, we've got Clark Williams and Evan Way, 13th and 14th. Chuck Morrow, 15th. Fabio Grassetto in 16th. Marcello Kessler, 17th. Alistair Hay, 18th. Fede Rossano on 19th. Jack Willems, 20th. Simon Fessy, 21st. Stuart Milne, 22nd. Vyacheslav Potapenko, 23rd. Adam Talmsma is down in 24th. Irvin Stumakens in 25th. Robert Ridgway, 26th. Koji Ito, 27th. Steve Ridders, 28th. Paolo Brem, 29th. Paul LeMay, 30. Edward Amos, 31st. Marcius Putnik, 32nd. Reno Scattini, 33rd. Michael LeMay in 34th. Ben Gaiotti, 35th. Reed Dennis, 36th. Marek Zotlovs, 37th. Matthew Gracie, 38th. And Maximilian Gerbart, 39th. Round out by Dorian Oreo in 40th place. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, Ewan, but there's a couple of familiar names in that grid.
I mean, when aren't there? We see Michael LeMay quite often. We saw him on Thursday night. Did all right in the Radical series, and he's here again tonight. Clearly, just loves being broadcasted by the JPB channel because he's here all the time. Good luck to him, though. We like to see him up there, and all of them as well, of course. But yeah, not long to go. We'll get this final race of the season underway.
Yeah, we have got a purple zone, guys, that does involve no overtaking. So they will be single file all the way through until they come out of Aintree. And then that run down Wellington Straight. We are underway. As I say, it's going to be single file all the way down. Positions held all the way through Farm, Village, the Loop, until they get out of Aintree. And then we are going to be going racing in hindsight. You can already see. Yes, the Sandstrom has already got Glamsey trying to push him and stay as close as he possibly can here. Going round the corner now into about 3, 2, 1. That's when they're allowed to go racing. They are now underway, and it is Lee Aberdeen out in front, Sandstrom second, Glamsey to third, Varani in fourth, and Newhoff in fifth. As you can see, Glamsey is just about to try and go up the inside of Sandstrom. He does currently make it through. Is he going to run him around the outside? He's going to try. Varani has also got Newhoff for Champ Company as well around the outside as well. And Ewan, at the moment, everybody through cleanly.
That was very, very close between the two. Glamsey actually got a better start off the line there, and if there wasn't that orange zone at the start of the race that prevents overtaking, Glamsey, I think, would have been up in second place there, but Sandstrom holds on for now, and it's inviting all the pressure. Luca Varani coming up on him as, Victor Barris finds himself in the wall at Copse.
Yeah, Barris is off there as well. Unfortunately, into the gravel he goes, but Sandstrom still holding on to second place. Lee Aberdeen got a 1 second gap, currently out in front, and is absolutely flying. He's doing a stellar job here as well, out in front, doing what Aberdeen needs to do. What about Varani? What about Newhoff? Newhoff has cleared Varani currently and is now sitting in fourth place. There's not many movers throughout. The Simon Fessy is up 3 places currently, one of the biggest gainers in the race so far as we're here on the first lap. But it is going to be about how far can Newhoff. Varani goes in hot. Nearly takes out Newhoff there, but again, he didn't take him out, so therefore he's still in the race and up and running.
Oh, thankfully, but that was really, really close. We're seeing once again, though, as we were saying just before we come to air, Newhoff is really not very strong in qualifying at all, but in the race he's fantastic. Already up to fourth, and that was a crucial overtake, I think, as well, with Varani involved in the championship fight, albeit at a distant margin. I think it's important for Newhoff to get back in front. Let's not forget, though, Newhoff needs to finish ahead of Aberdeen and vice versa as well today, so you can't afford to let Aberdeen get too far away, and there is a danger of that if Aberdeen takes the lead and runs away with it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, he's already out 3 attempts currently at the moment as well, with Newhoff sitting in fourth place. There's some tidy battles throughout the field currently at the moment. Alex Leledo is mixed up currently with Jakub Olezwinski, with Evan Way behind him as well. Marcello Kessler in 18th has got a train of cars involving Alistair Hayes, Jack Williams, Stuart Wills, Potapenko, Adam Talmsma and Tumakans all at the same time. And then we've got Marcius Putnieks, who's down further with Ben Gaiotti and Reno Scattini. But that gap up front for Newhoff, he's 3 attempts currently. He's got to try and get away from Varani and get rid of that 7 attempts down to Glamsey, because Glamsey has done a stellar job in qualifying. Not usually there, but he's done an amazing job at it.
Yeah, he's really outperformed. Well, I don't say outperformed himself, because he might feel as if he's disappointed himself throughout the season in qualifying. I don't know. We obviously would have to speak to him, but so far that's a fantastic qualifying position from him, and he's holding on to it well as well. If anything, Newhoff is having to look over his shoulder more than actually move forward. Albeit he does have Verani and Zwemstra behind him, which would make anyone look over their shoulder. I think two of the strongest drivers in this series. They've been up there right throughout, but we're seeing a very much different race here to what we've seen all season long, where it's been very unpredictable. Everyone's been up and down all throughout the season so far, but now it's about focusing on Aberdeen and Newhoff. We've been building up to this championship finale. We've seen it come into life. Aberdeen has done himself a big favour with pole, but there's a very long way to go, and it will feel like a very long race as well for him.
Yeah, Potapenko is gone and had an incident currently. Vyacheslav Potapenko has done this, unfortunately, as well. Don't forget, he's battling out in the 2.5K standings, and he did not want to be doing this. He's outbraked himself, and up he's gone in the air. Now, one of the things I want to look out for is what happens after this, because he ends up, I think, with Michael LeMay.
No. That is not a good rejoin. And they've got connected, have they? I've never seen this before. They cannot get each other disconnected, can they?
No.
Oh dear, this is awkward. Oh dear.
No, there we go.
What's going on here? Oh dear.
Michael LeMay and Potapenko become together, and unfortunately for Potapenko in the 2.5K standings, all he had to really try and do was get past Edward Amos, and he would have been in with a shout, but Amos is leading the championship by 4 points at the moment, and he's currently doing an absolute stellar job down in 27th, while Potapenko is all the way down the back end of the field in 38th place there as well, so not ideal for him.
Oh! Clark Williams has got no rear wing. Oh, and he's got... Oh, my goodness, there's a car barrel rolling off the circuit, and he's gone out of the boundaries of the circuit as well. Goodness me. Who was that? I think it was Fabio
Grassetto, yeah. Grassetto went up in the air. Oh, my dearie me. What happened here?
What a mess. Oh.
And then he just comes up, look at him barrel rolling in.
Goodness me. Well, it's been quite a while since I've seen a car quite rolling over like that. Not nice, but it's me. Out of the boundaries of the circuit as well, straight into the crowd. But thankfully, it's only sim racing, because that could have been very nasty. There it is. I mean, everyone's so close together, aren't they? And everything's happening so quickly, it's hard to blame anyone, in my opinion, although...
There may be a few opinions might differ with that.
Yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean?
I don't know, there's just so much going on there that maybe I'm being indecisive and sitting on the fence there, but I don't know. There's so much happening that that it's hard to decipher quite what's gone on.
Yeah, Way, Potapenko, Williams and Grassetto are all in the pits there, unfortunately for them. Not a good start to their evening on lap 4 of 25 here. Newhoff has dropped Verani. Newhoff and the group in front, Glamsito, Sandstrom and Aberdeen, they've dropped Verani so far, and that is unfortunate for Verani. He kind of needed to be up there with them, really, didn't he? And hoped that he might be able to catch on to something, but it's looking very unlikely that he's going to be able to.
Oh yeah, this is still pretty close for the lead right now. I was expecting Aberdeen to get to the lead actually and pull away, as he has done on a couple of occasions this season, albeit he's done it mostly in the first half. We've got to say, he won 3 in a row, round 4, 5 and 6, and he won the opener as well. That's not particularly been replicated in the second half of the season, as Glamsito runs very wide through there. He is teammates with Kenzie Newhoff, and so that's absolutely expected. Team play there. Sandstrom not affiliated with either as far as I can see, unless he's an Alcatech driver as well. Maybe they are actually. They are in a similar livery, aren't they? So maybe Sandstrom is almost acting as a rear gunner here for Aberdeen. There could be some team play here to speak of in this championship.
Yeah, there could well be, and Kenzie Newhoff there has cleared Glamsito and is now chasing down Sandstrom. I'm not one for conspiracies, don't get me wrong. Do you see where I'm going with this? That maybe Sandstrom come in for the final round to help Aberdeen?
Well, let's just clarify which round Imola was, because that's the only one he did otherwise. It was like round 4 or something?
Yeah, it was a long way ago. Long way away.
Yeah, so if he'd have come last round as well to try and help, then I would agree with you, because the championship's really been on and Aberdeen might have needed the help as well. But since he did a random round earlier on, and now he's finally come here in this race, it could very easily be too little too late, really, in some situations. But, it's not a bad theory that he has come in for, and it's not exactly never been seen before in sim racing for a teammate to come in to try and help someone else who's in a championship try and win this one. And after all, Sandstrom's very welcome since he is the reigning champion. So, and we know he's got the skill to be involved.
Yeah, but Nuoff does look like he's got some pace currently as well. Reed Dennis is into the pits again for the second time here this evening, and it's Aberdeen, Sandstrom, Nuoff, Glamsey, Avarani, Wemstra, Tellez, Flint and Laledo, your top 9, with Fessy rounding out the top 10 as well. Ben Gaiotti is back out again, I believe. Oh no, Fabio Grassetto, sorry. Gaiotti is still fighting away here with Marcius Putting, and Paul LeMay is still on track, where obviously we saw Michael get tied up with Potapenko. Fabio Rossano and Jakub Olezwinski. Rossano has just gone through on Olezwinski and taken that position for 13th place there as well. Lee Aberdeen up in front. Gap's closing, Ewan. They've been closing on him, and now they've closed him down completely.
It's another example, isn't it, of Neuhoff being so much stronger than he is in the race than he is in qualifying. He's almost a new driver after the race compared to what he is in qualifying. And you do get drivers like that. I was never very good at qualifying compared to race pace, but it always makes your life a lot harder. And you do wonder whether Neuhoff, if he'd have started a couple of places higher every single race, and if he'd invested a few more attempts at qualifying practice each round, maybe the championship would be pretty much signed and sealed right now, and it would be under his control. But it's easy to look back at that right now and think like that. He's just got to look at the drivers in front of him and try to make moves. He is certainly doing that right now. Sandstrom will be looking in the mirrors worried.
Yeah, definitely can have a look back from Sandstrom's wing over at Neuhoff there as well. And you can see he is closing rapidly here for what is planning to be the final race of the season here from the F3 round 12 at Silverstone for the IGP. And once more it's turning into an epic fight with Aberdeen, Neuhoff and Sandstrom battling away here as well. We've also got Jakub Olewinski with currently Marcello Kessler behind him and Fabio Rossano in front of them as well. They're having a nice little freeway as these guys go sweeping through the Maggots and Beckett's complex here at the Silverstone GP circuit in the UK. And what a circuit is, stooped in history. We all know about it, and as commentators, is it one of your favourites, Ewan?
Yeah, to be honest. Yeah, it's fantastic. Oh my word, that was close. On two wheels on the grass from, is that Kessler who's trying to make his way through? Oh, Olezwinski, excuse me. Yeah, excuse me. Two wheels on the grass there. That's quite a moment down the home straight. He's going to find himself under pressure from Kessler now, who's on the inside line, not able to go through. Yeah, I think it's another example, isn't it, of Silverstone being such a fantastic circuit in any car, but especially these as well. The slipstreaming opportunities you have around here, even F1 cars can race well around here, and that says quite a lot. Here goes Kenji Neuhoff down the inside. Oh, that's close. But Sandstrom goes around the outside. Nice move, and he's doing his teammate proud at the moment.
Yeah, he's defending hard for Lee Aberdeen in front of him currently at the moment. Sandstrom there. Neuhoff is going to get the inside line. He's trying to get it done now as they go running down into Brooklands. It's the left-hander. Neuhoff is fighting it out. We've still got Sandstrom, I believe. It just cuts his nose off.
Wow.
Oh, he's going to take him out.
Oh! Sandstrom's off, and Neuhoff hangs on just about. He'll be very lucky to survive without suspension damage there, though, surely. Let's see how the car's driving. He looks all right, actually. Glamsey is going to catch up a little bit with their teammates, so that'll be okay. Neuhoff has got to be worried a little bit about suspension damage or aero damage after that, because you very rarely get away with a contact like that.
Yeah, well, he's still going. He's still going. He survived that one there as well. Where were we going to go with this? It's just, I don't know where we're going to go with this, because this is how it all started.
It's hard to tell from there. I think if we can go back a bit earlier, it might not be possible, to be fair. But there we go. Oh, that's a difficult one to call, isn't it, really? I do feel like I'm not sure how much more space Neuhoff can give when there's a gravel trap on the left-hand side there. Yeah, I know Sandstrom's racing him hard and whatever, but just to go back before that, just on the way into Luffield, out of Brooklands, we did see a really aggressive move from Neuhoff. He was absolutely, I was about to say at the time, he was 100% sure to the millimetre how long his car was there, because he was only just clear by millimetres, and he still cut across the nose of the car behind him, Sandstrom there. So fair play to him for that. Big confidence. And I'm not sure there was an awful lot he could have done about that on the exit, really.
No, definitely not there as well. Sandstrom's in the pits. Rosano, Koji Ito has also put a dent in his 2.5K championships at the moment, sitting in the pit lane there as well. While Edward Amos is here in 21st, up 10th. He's looking good for that 2.5K championship at the moment.
He is. And fair play to him as well. I think a lot of that was decided last week, to be fair. We saw chaos in this championship last week, if you remember. I think all three of the top three in the championship led at one point and then had a disaster of one description or another. And I do feel bad for Potapenko, because at one point he was in the lead of that race last week and cruising, in my mind anyway, to a win, at least in class. And then I can't remember what happened to him, but he dropped down a long way. And it's cost him, really. It's given him a bit of work to do today. He was 4 points behind, and at the moment it would be a near miracle if he was still able to take this championship with Amos in 21st and himself still down 34th.
Yeah, Glamsita here with currently Kevin Zwemstra. They're running side by side currently at the moment. Through Stowe they go on the run down into Vale. They're going too wide. And you've got currently on board with Glamsita now to the right of us is Zwemstra. Are they going to make it into club? They are, and Glamsita stays in front of Zwemstra currently at the moment here with Kevin Zwemstra there. That is what he's currently looking at in front of him, that very looming car of Glamsita, who's chinking round all the way round. He's not going to try a two wide round, Abby. He is. He's going to sweep round the outside. He's going to look like he's got the job done already, and he has done there as well. And also Jimenez has taken advantage of that one as well, Ewan, and put himself up the inside and also cleared Glamsita. Although Glamsita was in third, he's dropping down the order now. He's sitting down in 6th place, -3 on where he is. The gap up front, 1.4 seconds currently. Coming down slowly to Aberdeen, but it's going to need to be later on in the race, I think, as Glamsita there just takes a dive over Jimenez and gets the job done.
Yeah, that's all fine for Glamsita, but yeah, I agree. It will be second half of the race for Neuhoff now. You'd imagine with Aberdeen that those battles that happened before, especially with Sandstrom as well, has helped Aberdeen a little bit. It's given him a bit of a margin, but it's not enough to go home with the race win for sure just yet. It's a long race, so we'll need to be careful of that. I think this race now, though, is just reflecting how good Christian Glamsita's qualifying time was, though, because with all respect to him, I think he's out-qualified his actual pace in this season, in this race, and he's doing a really good job of where he is right now, and hats off to him totally. But that does explain, in my mind anyway, the little bit of overtaking that's happening to him. In the opposite way, Will McIntyre is gaining places at the moment. He's 11th and knocking on the door of a top 10. Yeah,
he's got Chuck Morrow in front of him as well. Chuck has also had somewhat of an eventful season this season here, and I think he's done a great job at being in this league, but he's also had quite an up and down season as McIntyre just sweeps through. Morrow is not giving up, mind you, and McIntyre's into the pits.
Oh, that's odd. You don't normally require a pit stop in this race, so something must have happened damage-wise, or, well, drive. Right,
it hasn't got a drive.
Tracks, surely.
No, not this early on.
I'm not entirely sure. That would be odd. But he doesn't seem to be showing any desire to go. Oh, yes, he is. He's just going towards his pit box now.
Yeah, it does
must have damage, but it would have to be quite severe for someone to have to come in.
Well, it's gone. Yeah, it's gone. Kessler and Olezwinski here, battling it out further down. The gap up front is down to 1.1 seconds. We will keep an eye on that one. As you can see here, the battle down in 11th and 12th place between Olezwinski and Kessler. Once more on lap 10 here of 25. Going forward, the final race of the season, whoever wins between Aberdeen and Neuhoff is pretty much guaranteed to win the championship, we believe. Kessler's going to try and sweep round the outside of Olezwinski through Luffield. Is he going to get this one done as well? Not real. Yes, he's having another go on this run down into Kops currently at the moment. And is Kessler going to be able to use that outside line to sweep past Oleswinski and get through? He's not, but for his company, he's got Adam Townsend sat up behind him here as well. Gap still up front, 1.1 Ewan, coming down ever so slowly.
It's nervy, isn't it, at the front? And you can't imagine the pressure and the nerves on those guys at the moment, because as we explained earlier, it's pretty much winner takes all here. It couldn't be a more perfect situation. Lee Aberdeen at the moment searching for his 5th win in 12 races. Oh dear. Oh, Kessler off the road, and Oleswinski as well. Yeah,
Oleswinski spun there. I think got into the... Yeah, he did. And then he just spun, and Kessler kind of didn't know where to go. Takes to the grass there, just a simple mistake, and unfortunately it was game over for Oleswinski. Townsend's just cleared Ridgeway, and up front the gap's down below, was just down below a second for a brief split second.
Yeah, we're going to get a fight between these two, aren't we? I can feel it coming at some point. There's still a long way to go in this race. We're not even halfway yet, with 10 laps complete in this one, 25 on the board. It's yeah, we're going to get a fight between these two. And as we mentioned, it's winner takes all here between the two of them. 1 point separate them. Lee Aberdeen searching for his 5th win. Neuhoff for his 2nd. And guess what? His first came only 1 week ago. And, we do say sometimes in these series, once one comes along, the ball starts to roll. You start to get more. But I don't think it's about the race win at the moment. If this battle was for 30th place, it would be a similar situation, because there's only 1 point separating them at the moment, and Lee Aberdeen, if they were tied on points, which they are if the race were to end now, then he would win on countback with his 4 wins.
Yeah, definitely. So Neuhoff's got to go out. Evening all, nice to open up the stream 2 wide. Says Craig Jones, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us here. And Alex Laledo is battling away with Andy Flint in front and Glamseater behind. It looks like Glamseater has lost another position, unfortunately, and has gone down the order into 8th place. So this is coming, hopefully will be another battle we'll keep an eye on as the race goes on. We've also got Marcello Kessler battling away with Stuart Milne after Kessler's off track, taking him to the grass because Oleswinski spun in front of him. He then tried to take an evasive action and went on to the grass as well, and finds himself behind Stuart Milne. So the front the front 3 I should say, 1.5 seconds back currently at the moment here on lap 12. And as we say, we're just nearly, I suppose, in hindsight, approaching halfway, Ewan. It's going to be I got a funny feeling they're going to come together round about lap 18 to 22 here. And these last 3 laps could be an absolute incredible battle.
Yeah, I'm getting a bit nervous for them, if I'm honest, because it's going to come right down to the wire, isn't it? Varani's there as well. You can't forget about him. He'll be right there just in case they actually come together. He could take the title. So, he's got to lurk there. I don't know if he'll quite get involved, because he does need to fight. He does need them, to fight it out quite hard in order to gain those places. He needs a crash, really. Varane at the moment 6 points off the championship lead. He's not going to do that on pace by the looks of things. The 3 of them look quite considerably quicker than the rest of the field, in fact. Yeah,
they definitely do. And there is Neuhoff, there is Varane, there is Aberdeen. You can see the gap between the 3 is now 1.5 seconds with 8 tenths. It's been coming down bit by bit over the last few laps. It's taken about 4 laps to get it down to 8 tenths from the initial 1.4 with the initial contact with Sandstrom on lap 7. So it's taken about 5 laps to get it to this point from Neuhoff, and he is closing, edging out. Now below 8 tenths. That giraffe's going to get him a little bit. And by lap, I would say could be even earlier than that, probably lap 16 maybe, we could see these guys fighting it out. And I think this could be an absolute barnstorming freeway going into the last few laps here as well. But further down the order, Simon Fessy is here battling away. He's got Chuck Morrow behind him currently at the moment, 4.5 seconds. He's got Glamseater in front of him, 3 tenths. You can see Glamseater there as well. Do we think Glamseater was almost, I want to use the term punching above his weight in qualifying, but I'm probably not doing him justice there?
I always feel bad saying that about drivers, to be honest, and I always hesitate to do so, but I would say so, qualifying right up there. If we look at his championship position, he's currently tied in 10th with Evan Way, and at the moment would be overtaking him for that place as well, given that Evan Way is down in 26th. and has actually had problems in this race. He's minus 12 on the day. So Glamsit is doing enough for a top 10 finish. So this is more like where we're expecting to see him, just on the edges of the top 10, the bottom half of the top 10, if you like. Not quite inside the top 3, but you know, I always feel bad for saying it, but it's always a compliment to them, really, when we say that, because it means that they've performed really well, to be honest, in terms of qualifying especially. Glamsit has done that. It's a shame that he hasn't been able to quite hang on to that in the race, but yeah, his qualifying performance was really magnificent.
Yeah, it was. It's almost seems to be a reverse of Kenzie Neuhoff. Neuhoff doesn't do well in qualifying, but does stellar in the race. Glamsit has done great in qualifying, but not so great. He just can't seem to find the pace in the race at the moment. That's dropped him down 5 places currently, sitting down. You know, I think his stats probably say a lot more than what we're looking into currently at the moment. So if you take into consideration his average start was 16th, his average finish has been 18th place. He's only had 3 top 10s, no top 5s, and has finished 9 out of the 11 races he's been involved with. As you can see, Fessy is just about to try and take a dive up the inside through Stowe. Is he going to try and go around the outside and get him on that run down into through Val? He goes into Club. He's now ducked to the inside. Not going to get in this time on the exit. He's going to look for a better one if he can. And he's now going to be tucked up right behind him is Fessy. He's going to try and pull to the right-hand side now. Here we go down into Abbey. Who's going to be able to hold it out? Who's going to be braver? It's going to be Fessy's going to try and run him round. Glamsit goes off track. Still manages to hold on to it though. Still inside. Still side by side they go. And is Fessy going to wrap this up? He's not this time, Ewan. They're still going.
Oh yeah, it's taken quite a while to wrap this one up, as it turns out. Glamsit on the outside, Fessy on the outside, excuse me. Glamsit still holds on to this one, which feels like it's going on for a little bit longer than it needs to, as far as Simon Fessy is concerned here. But he'll give it another go into Brooklands by the looks of it. Outside line. He'll need to be later on the brakes than that, though, unless he's going for a cutback. I guess Glamsit later on the brakes himself. Allowing him to defend from the others. Fessy will look for a run out of here. He'll do well to pass really at any point before Stowe now, though.
Yeah, he's going to try again. He's going to have another go. He seems to be getting a nice little draft coming out of there currently at the moment. Is he going to be able to close him up through Cops this time? He's not. Is he going to be able to make a run through Maggots and Beckett's? At the moment, he's tucked in again. Here he goes. Jinkin from left to right. He's going to sweep through this complex. He's going to try and close the gaps down as much as he can. But when he gets out on through Chapel and Hanger Straight, he could have a go. But it's looking like he's more losing time than he is gaining. Now he's coming in. Now the draft's taking effect. 2 attempts here in 9th place. Here he goes. Is Fessy going to make the move on the inside? He dives down the inside. Is he going to get it done down into Stowe this time? And I've seen this before. He's not. Glamsit is going to run him around the outside. Through Vale they go. Down into Club. Left-hander. Side by side. Fessy's going to have the inside for the exit. Is he going to open up the steering? Just block Glamsit off. It is. It's job done. But boy, it took him 2 laps to get it done.
Yeah, he might be kicking himself a little bit that he didn't get it done sooner. But then again, the gap is opening up in a way that he might not be able to get anything other than 8th or anything higher than 8th at this point anyway, so it might not matter in the end at this point. Glamsit will obviously try and find his way back through again, but he's pretty much back to where he has been all season long, as I said, lurking in the bottom half of the top 10 or so. He's tied for 10th in the standings at the moment with Evan Way. He's probably too many points behind Andy Flint to realistically overtake him today anyway, and given the fact he's behind Andy Flint on the road as well, that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, definitely there's going to be a tall order here for Glamsit, who's going to have to try and get some of these positions back. Paul LeMay, one that we know from normally driving the Radical, is battling away down here with Stuart Mill. Mind you, he's up 14 places. So absolutely stellar job. Probably helped from some of the incidents we had earlier on, of course, with Evan Way getting involved, and poor old Fabio Grosotto ended up over, well, we saw it, didn't we? He spun rapidly and ended up over the fence. So he was automatically out. But so Paul LeMay up 14 places currently here as well. It looks like this gap up front is now below 7 tenths. He's chipping him out. Last time around, 152.01 for Aberdeen, 151.9 for Neuhoff. He's getting there, bit by bit.
Yeah. Well, I'm beginning to wonder whether he's going to run out of laps to make an overtake here. He is going to get close enough to be there or thereabouts, but You can't be this distance back on the final lap and hope to make an overtake. By no means. Still 10 laps to go, of course, so can't get too worried right now. But yeah, he's not quite closing as quickly as I was expecting with the championship on the line. Paul Lemay, by the way, has just gotten through on another driver, Stuart Milne, and he's now 15 places above where he started this race. And I don't remember seeing him all season, actually. We've seen a lot of Michael Lemay, or a fair amount of Michael Lemay, but not Paul so often. So he's now confusing our graphics in more than one broadcast tonight. He's actually been re-overtaken, actually, for this battle in 15th place.
Yeah, LeMay got past Milne, Milne got past LeMay, and this is where the situation... He did message me earlier on as well. He said, you know, him and his brother are doing the F3s. This is his first race of the season here, so that's why we haven't seen Paul much this season. Well, we haven't seen him at all, obviously, because this is his first one. So that's why he's here with his brother Michael as well. But you know, there's still battles raging on, and one of them is Tellus and Laledo down in 5th and 6th place here currently at the moment. Tellus up 1, Laledo up 4 places on his grid slot again for these guys as they go running through now through down to Maggots and Beckett's once more. And let's see how this one pans out. Can Laledo make that move? He's trying to climb all over the back of Tellers at the moment, and not happening currently at this moment in time.
Not for the moment. It's going to be difficult to do through Maggots and Beckett's anyway, to be fair. But you can see Teller's already really defending there from his countryman. We'll see a move here surely for 5th place, will we? Oh, he's not quite closing as much as I thought, actually, Lado there. But now he'll go for it. Later on the brakes into Stowe. Pulls his car up in front as well, and that was actually easier than I was expecting, because not many metres from the braking zone, he was still absolutely single file, tucked in behind.
Yeah, he currently was there as well, so hopefully for Tellers he might be able to get this job done. Nuoff now, they've dropped Varani. Varani is now 1 second back, and it's now it's teetering on 5 to 6 tenths currently at the moment. I think he's still in with this. I think he's still in with this. He is edging gaps out of him. He is getting the gap down. You know, Varani's trying to stay desperately within that 1 second window. Is he going to run out of laps? Do we think this is going to what the situation will be?
Well, it's just dipped below half a second, hasn't it, for the first time in a while. There's still 8 laps to go at the line. But he's been closing in such small increments that you do worry he's going to run out of laps here, even with the amount of time you have in one of these races. An unusual length of time for one of them, it's hard to know. But to be fair, once you get closer, actually, the slipstream effect does become a little bit more substantial. You do begin to benefit from that a little bit more, so maybe Newhoff can start to play off on that. The good thing I think that he has done, though, he's got rid of Varani, because if he was having to look over his shoulder and try and make a move here, I don't think it would have happened.
No, I think the pressure from somebody behind, it's never easy when you're looking back and looking forward at the same time. He hasn't got to worry about that. The draft is playing a part now as these guys go down the hanger straight into Stowe. He's pulled it back down to 4 tenths. Pressure. That's all Newhoff has really got to try and do on Aberdeen, hasn't he? He's got to put him under pressure, see if he can make little mistakes bit by bit by bit. He's pulling it out. The draft is helping as they're going on down the start-finish straight once more here at the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit. Now Aberdeen is starting to go defensive. He's starting to have a little bit of a weave there as well to try and break some of the draft. 151.839, 151.782 for Laledo. Laledo has just pipped him for the fastest lap. I still think he's going to get there. But getting there and overtaking, 2 different things completely.
Yeah, very different. And when there's a title on the line, it's even more different than different, if that makes any sense. So they're going to fight over this very hard indeed. Newhoff, the non-ideal situation in my opinion here, because these two are so well matched on pace. Newhoff might have that slight little edge, but we're talking about it like it's a lot. It's really not. It's you know, not barely tenths of a second per lap sometimes. So you'd like to have the track position in my opinion, but then again, as we've seen so far this race, there are ample overtaking opportunities around Silverstone, so maybe you do want to be in the slipstream. Maybe the tactics are going to come into this. Where do you want to be on the last lap? Do you want to defend from the front? Do you want to come from behind with the slipstream on the hanger straight?
Yeah, I wouldn't like to be in any of these guys' shoes, to be honest. I've got to be honest. Normally, I like being, if I would drive, and I would like being in Neuhoff's shoes, chasing down. You know, you can see the gaps coming. The temps are dropping. 3.5, 3.4, 3.3, 3.2, 3.1, below 2 temps now. Here again as they're going into Stowe. Still not kind of trying to get there. He's trying again. The gap's coming down again. The certain parts of the circuit, Aberdeen is quicker, and that's when the gaps and the temps start opening up. But there are definite points, like, you know, when Neuhoff has got the pace on Aberdeen and can really close the gap in, as we're seeing right about now as well. So, yeah, do you know, in my head, I just pictured that these two having a coming together and Varane coming through and winning it. That was what I was seeing overall at this point.
Yeah, that's ideal, obviously, for Varane, who's sat in there at the moment, just waiting in behind. But I think these two are clean enough to be able to do this, nicely. I mean, they had a nice battle last race, if you remember, when Neuhoff took the win from Aberdeen. Aberdeen initially took that lead off at the start, but obviously had that slow down. They did have a couple of fights together that was very nice indeed, even though we saw at the time the championship was on the line because they were tied on points at the time. So I think based on that, what we saw 7 days ago, we can see that again here. But I do understand that with the actual deadline for this championship a lot closer, we could well see some different propositions over the course of the next 6 laps at the line. The thing that is ideal for Neuhoff here, while I've spoken obviously about him not having the track position and I wouldn't like to be in that place, he does have laps on his side, still plenty of time here.
Yeah, I'm struggling to see though. It looks like from that perspective of what we're looking at, Aberdeen can open it up through Copse and pull the gap out. He lets the car run a little bit wider when Neuhoff's a little bit more tighter and scrubs a little bit of speed off here as well. Aberdeen is starting, he's driving defensively, he's going to the right and all the left coming out the corners. He's trying to stop Neuhoff, get the draft and close that gap in there as well. I don't want to see this end by a silly mistake from either driver any more than really you want to see it happen by contact, because that's going to be the worst way to win a championship. If they make contact or if Aberdeen spins, you want to see it finish either as it is now or from an amazing overtake from these guys, and that's what we want to see. And Neuhoff is closing in, he's got the run now. Is he going to be able to do this as they come into this arena section here at Silverstone? What do we reckon, Ewan? Can he do it or not?
I think he can. He'll certainly have chances in this race. There's still plenty of time for chances to be in his sort of realm in the course of the next 6 laps, but this is not going to be one of them in towards Brooklands. We do speak, obviously, I've spoken a lot about this race so far, and the straight line speed, obviously, or the straights, sorry, the slipstream through there. You can get opportunities, however, it's such a high speed circuit that sometimes it doesn't feel quite like that, and right now Neuhoff will maybe be feeling as if he's not getting any chances at all. He needs to get that little bit closer again. But I do think he has that little tenth or two to get closer. There he closes into Cole. Wow! Really went for it there. That would have been brave, and he's actually cost himself more time than he would have gained, really.
Oh no, I didn't. I don't know about you, but I just had Hamilton and Verstappen at that point going straight through my head there as well, as I definitely thought that was going to happen. Neuhoff's cost himself 6 temps. He's at, 4 temps because he was down at 2 temps there as well. He's got to go again. Has he now? Has that one opportunity just cost him because of the time that he's lost?
Maybe. We saw how long that it took him to close into that opportunity there, and I think he's somewhat thrown it away in a sort of silly way, really, or used that chance, sorry, in a silly way, really, at the inside of Copse. We'll see if that comes out to bite him at the end, because right now Aberdeen would be levelling on points with Kenzie Neuhoff, and that would be enough for him to take the title as far as my maths is concerned. Anyway, it's going to be between these two, as we've said all day long. Winner takes all between the both of them, and Neuhoff has thrown away a big opportunity there to try and go through. Now, the interesting thing will be, how does he respond from that? How does he get closer again? And does he make better use of the chances in the future? How many chances does he get in the future is another question we have to ask ourselves.
He might just get that one. He might have just got that one opportunity to hang. All he had to do was just follow Aberdeen through. He didn't need to do that with his nose. He could have just hung there, followed him through that corner, closed that 1/10 out that he already was nearly under anyway, and gone again. But he's now 6 tenths back and relying once more that he's going to be able to get near him. And with the laps closing now, four laps, it's not going to be easy. It's not. And I just wonder if that is it, if that was his opportunity, that one shot he had, and he's just thrown it away by trying to stick his nose up the inside.
You do somewhat fear that was his chance, and he's thrown it away now. Still 4 laps to go, of course. And, you know, he was close enough, I guess, to make a move through there. But how many times do we see Kopp's moves actually work? I can't think of very many.
No.
So especially from the situation we saw, as you say, we can think of more accidents than we can overtakes, in fact. So I don't know if it was the smartest choice. If that comes back to bite him, I think he'll be kicking himself, in all honesty.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see after this what is said about that, because we know that they watched the broadcast back anyway, so it'll be interesting to see what was said after that as well. But there are other cars on track, I promise, here as well. And currently in the 2.5k series, Edward Amos is still beating, well, Potapenko. Koji Ito looks like he's out completely. If it stays like this, Amos will be the 2.5k champion of this series here as well. So, you know, for Amos, he's just got to keep it on track, I think, for the next few laps, and he will be champion. Townsma down currently with Robert Ridgway right behind him currently at the moment. That gap is not coming down up front, Ewan. It's still out at 6-7 tenths, and if anything, it's getting bigger.
Yeah, worrying signs for Newhoff now. We know that he gets stronger as the race goes on, but how many times have we seen Lee Aberdeen get to the front of a race and just control it from there on in? We've seen that plenty of times as well, so that's got to be a worry for Newhoff. Further behind, obviously, there will be positional changes, you'd imagine. Adam Townsma is very much on the defensive at the moment from Robert Ridgway for the last position outside of the top 10. Somewhat interestingly, Glamsiter has also lost that 9th place to 10th now, right back to where he is in the championship.
Yeah, Victor Barris is another man who's got battling away here as well. He's got Marcius Putnieks for company, so these guys are battling it out further down. Barris with Brem as well right behind him, so there is still battles happening, and at the moment that front battle is gone from what it was down below 2 tenths to now out to 7, with Varani dropping a further 1.8 further back. He's just pulled a 10th out as Newhoff. He's still trying, okay, so that's fair enough. He's still trying.
Yeah.
He's still giving himself a bash. He's just done a 151.54. Maybe he's taken a deep breath and decided, right, I'm going for it now. I don't know. I'm preempting something, maybe.
Well, I mean, we just brush over that lap time, but that was the fastest lap of the race so far. We can't, you know, we can't say that, you know, he's not trying at all. He did only gain a 10th and a bit, but it was the fastest lap of anyone on that previous one. Lee Aberdeen set his personal best on that last lap. He's not going slowly either. He's weaving around to break the slipstream as well. He already knows how important this is. Newhoff decides not to chase him too much on the Wellington straight towards Brooklands right now, but he is beginning to close. There was a couple of laps ago, and maybe even last lap as well, where I thought, this is not quite going to close quickly enough. But on the basis of this last lap also, I think Newhoff might well give himself just one more chance, and he has to be smarter with it than he was with his first chance.
Yeah, definitely down below now, nearly down below 4 tenths. Just teetered on the edge of that. That's where we're saying that Aberdeen is surviving here through Copse. He does open about a 10-second gap over Newhoff, but Newhoff does try and put it back in as the remaining of the lap goes on here as they're coming out of Chapel onto this hanger straight with on lap 23 of 25. If these people at home are not enjoying this, well, you know, if you're not biting your nails, it's going to be an interesting one. Newhoff, I fully agree with you. If he gets another opportunity, he's got to use it better than what he did the first time. He's got to position himself in a place on the track that where he can make that move and make it clean. I'm really, really struggling where that is going to be at the moment, because as we say before, when we talked about the gap coming down quick enough, this gap is not dropping really in hindsight quick enough. Aberdeen is defending, he's weaving, he's breaking him with the draft, and Nuoff just cannot seem to close that down as quick as what he did. I'm struggling to see you, and I've got to be honest.
Yeah, it's looking difficult now, penultimate lap, but let's not forget the what I mentioned earlier on. The gap's below a half a second now. As he gets closer, the slipstream effect gets bigger, and so the rate of closing gets bigger as well. Now Nieuwhof is closing in. This could be a right grandstand finish to this championship right now. It's winner takes all, just to remind you at home. Aberdeen and Nieuwhof, 1 and 2 in the championship, 1 and 2 in this race, separated by a point as well. If Aberdeen finishes in front of Nieuwhof, they'd be on the same points, but Aberdeen will win a title on countback. And that's currently what we're seeing in the order. Nieuwhof needs to finish in front and he'd win by 2 points. The margins in this title race are so fine.
Yeah, and there's that gap. Again, Aberdeen is quicker than Nieuwhof through that section. Through that copse and coming down through Maggots and Beckett's. He's just managed to be that little bit quicker than Nieuwhof. Nieuwhof starts closing the gap again. We're going to see instantly Aberdeen start defending. Coming out of Chapel, and down Hanger Straight we go. Here you see in front with Aberdeen moving around, trying to break the draft. The draft's down 4-6 at the moment. Here we go once more through Stowe. Oh, okay. Well, he's down near. He held it at 4 attempts there, Ewan. He's giving himself the best shot he possibly can.
He absolutely is. And it's going to be on to the last lap as well. We've gone through 12 rounds of this championship. So much fantastic racing. Aberdeen and Nieuwhof with their fair share of it as well. But now it's going to come down to the very final circuit of this very season. What a fantastic title race we've seen so far. And Kenzie Nieuwhof is applying the pressure already, getting into the head of Lee Aberdeen.
He's going to try, he was almost going to try and cut back in there. Aberdeen went defensive. Oh, Neil slid. Too much power too soon. He's got the back end. Final lap of the race, and it is between Lee Aberdeen and Kenzie Nieuwhof. Nieuwhof now following him around like a puppy beside his owner currently at the moment. He's trying to go through once more, through the complex at the top of the track, through Luffield. This is it. This is going to be it. He's got to try and get as much draft now. This is the corner that he loses the time. He's got to try and either follow Aberdeen to that almost the outer limits of off tracks here to be able to register. He's got to throw it. You've got to throw it. You can't follow it because you lose time there. He did follow him this time, and he's now down to 3 attempts.
Here we go. This is going to be the last sector of this championship, and it's on the line between the top two. Aberdeen and Nieuwhof through Maggots and Beckett for the final time. Who's got a good exit out of here? Has Nieuwhof done enough? He's out on the grass very nearly. He's going to get the slipstream here as well. Aberdeen's going to weave to try and break the slipstream, and I don't think Aberdeen's quite gaining enough here. It'll be into the very final chicane if he's going to make a dive at all, but Aberdeen has got him at arm's length at the moment. Nieuwhof gains a little bit more. Is he close enough?
No, he's not. I don't think he is. Coming down into club for the final time. I think Aberdeen is going to wrap this one up. I think he's going to do it. He is going to do it. It's going to be Lee Aberdeen. He's going to come across the line. He's taken it. He's taken the championship over Nieuwhof, over Varani. 12 rounds of epic racing, and it come down to the final lap of the race, and it was Aberdeen. He wrapped it up. Aberdeen got it. What an incredible ending to an incredible season at the last race on the last lap. Amazing.
Absolutely amazing. But how much will Kenzie Nieuwhof be kicking himself for having that going towards Cops on those laps? I mean, 5, 6, 7 laps ago. I can't even remember. It was so long ago. He will be kicking himself for that move because it was never going to come off there in my mind anyway. Why would he even try in the first place? He could have given himself a few more attempts because on that last lap, he still was lacking that extra 10th or 2 to get that little bit closer. He was still lacking those 1 or 2 chances to take this title away.
Yeah, and well, Lee Aberdeen did it. he did the job. He got it done. He finished it off. He knew coming into this race what he had to do, and the Australian did it, as JWS says there in chat. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Incredible there from Lee Aberdeen. I've got to be honest, what an absolute amazing finish to this race. Incredible.
Absolutely incredible, and deserving champion as well, of course. We can't take anything away from Lee Aberdeen, who's won so many races this season. If it was based on race wins, he would be out front by an absolute mile. Sometimes his consistency has let him down. He's had a few poor races, especially towards the second half of the season. I know he didn't finish at Mosport, but some of the ones in the second half of the season have been a little bit shaky for him. But he has won races. He's accumulated points. That's what's won him the title, and he's fully deserving of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Here as well as he goes into the pits here. So there is the Putniks doing some donuts for us. Oh, there's all of them doing donuts there as well. I think they're all just spinning around quite rapidly. We were told that this is something that happens here, but they do donuts at the end.
The residents of Northamptonshire wondering quite why it's got so cloudy all of a sudden.
Yeah.
This is why. Just about 10 people, well, more than that, in fact, just doing donuts at the moment. This looks weird.
Yeah. And Michael LeMay, no, he's not doing anything. Jakub Oleszewski is. And they're just spinning around quite happily to round off what I think, Ewan, it's been an incredible season.
Really incredible season, absolutely. There's been so many drivers in contention for the title. There's been so many different race winners, so much great racing in the F3s, I've got to say. Yeah, it's really grown on me as a fantastic car for racing. I mean, I knew it was before a little bit, but this series has really cemented that in my mind. And what a great set of drivers as well. Very rarely are we speaking about people, being... not giving racing room to each other. We're very rarely speaking about incidents to us. The penalty list is always very short, and that's very admirable for a series.
Yeah, absolutely there as well. We still see Victor Barras coming through here and everybody else heading back there as well. But for the final time this evening, here are the race results of round 12, the final round of the iGPFun this season, live from Silverstone. And it is Lee Aberdeen in first, Kenzie Newhoff second, Luca Varani third, Alex Leledo fourth, Kevin Zwemstra fifth, Andy Flint sixth, Anthony Tellez in seventh, Jimenez in seventh, Simon Fessy eighth, Chuck Morrow ninth, Glam Sita in 10th, Adam Townsman 11th, Robert Ridgway 12th, Irvin Sumakins in 13th, Bocello Kessler 14th, Marcis Putnieks is in 15th place. Then behind that, Marcello Stuart Mill in 16th, Victor Barras 17th, Paolo Brem 18th, Jack Williams 19th, Marek Otlovs in 20th, Edward Amos 21st, Paul LeMay 22nd, Matthew Gracie 23rd, Evan Way 24th, and Ben Gaiotti in 25th place. On from there, Jakub Oleszewski 26th, Steve Ridders in 27th, Michael LeMay in 28th, Maximilian Gerbart in 29th, Dorian Orio 30th, Rino Scatini 31st, Vyacheslav Podopenko in 32nd place, Will McIntyre 33rd, Alistair Hay 34th, and Jester Sandström after that contact with Kenzie Newhoff down in 35th. Fedor Rossano and Koji Ito in 37th there, and they are the final people to be classified in this one as well. Fabio Grosseto, and that as well, unfortunately not finishing the race. But it was absolutely incredible. A big shout out, of course, as well to Edward Amos, who has wrapped up the AM Championship as well. So well done. Not AM Championship, it's a 2.5K Championship, I should say. Has wrapped it up here as well, finishing in an amazing 21st place with his nearest rival, Podopenko, down in 32nd. And also beyond that, Koji Ito, who was also down the order in 34th place as well. So a big shout out to Mr. Edward Amos. Absolutely incredible, taking the 2.5K Championship. Right. So, Mr. O'Leary, can you round out the season for us?
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't say in one sentence, because you do so often say that.
I do. No, I didn't want to give you one sentence because I thought that would just be cruel.
It's also pointless because I just can't do it anyway. So you've saved yourself there. No, it's been wonderful. As I say, I've really enjoyed covering my first season of the iGPFun F3 League. as I said before, these cars have produced fantastic racing. Good track selection in terms of where we've gone racing as well. That's certainly helped us along. But a great championship fight. Great drivers up towards the front. Really respectful as well. It would be very easy, and we see so often in sim racing as well, championship deciders turning into a complete mess in terms of incidents, in terms of drama. We don't want to see things decided post-race by any means. None of that here by any means. A clean fight on the road. We know who has won on the road as well because it has been so clean and fully respectful as well. It would have been very easy for Nuoff to, be reckless on that last lap and just win at all costs almost. He certainly didn't do that. And that's, indicative of everyone in this field. So respectful. And as I say, penalty just very short at the end of each race. And we absolutely can't wait to cover the next season.
Yeah, absolutely. We are back once again next season, guys, as well. So stay tuned here and pay attention to the JPB Instagram and Twitter pages. The season will start in 2 weeks' time on the 18th of June. So 2 weeks' time on the 18th of June. And what an incredible ending to an incredible season it has been here as well. Big shout outs to Lee Aberdeen for taking the championship and Edward Amos taking the 2.5K. Incredible. But guys, for the final time this season, massive shout out to all of you beautiful people in chat here as well. JWS, Alex Johnson as well. Craig Jones popped in. Pedro Silva, Phil across the pond. All the early guys in as well. Lewis McGlade, Random Call Sign, Spoons Felix, Ash Vanderlei. Thank you so much for all joining us here on the JPB YouTube channel. But for the final time this evening, guys, and this season, take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track next season. Good night.